You're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
Welcome back to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. We're broadcasting from the Natural Green Lawn and Landscape Studios. We're brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency, and Extreme Exteriors. You can count on Extreme Exteriors for expert installation of siding, roofing, soffits, fascia, decks, windows, and more. With their knowledge and experience, they can design the perfect solution to make your home beautiful and energy efficient, saving you maintenance and money for years to come. Call Extreme Exteriors at 763-441-1334 and tell them that Gene and Tony sent you. It's time now to hear from the Community Associations Institute. The CAI Minute is brought to you by New Concepts Rental Management. Whether you're an accidental landlord or a seasoned investor, New Concepts Rental Management can help you achieve your financial goals. New Concepts Rental Management can advise and guide you through every aspect of the business. Call me, Tony Crockett, at New Concepts Rental Management, 952-922-2500.
Are you a volunteer in your homeowner association? Maybe a residential property manager wanting to increase your industry knowledge and obtain professional credentials in property management. Are you a vendor or professional offering services to homeowners and associations or property managers? If you said yes to any one of those questions, then join the Community Association Institute. The CAI is a great organization, helping you be informed and more proficient in your homeowner association board member or property manager role. It's also a great way to network with potential clients. For nearly 40 years, CAI has provided education and resources to volunteer homeowners who govern community associations and the professionals who support them. Visit cai-mn.com to learn more. That's cai-mn.com. The Minnesota chapter of CAI holds monthly managers' luncheons, board member education training, property manager certification training, and much more. It also produces a bi-monthly informative magazine called Minnesota Community Living. Why not join the Community Association Institute today? You can do so online at cai-mn.com and select membership.
Before we go back to our story, Gene, I want to remind our listeners that we have a hotline for your questions and comments. Give us a call at 952-224-2668 and tell us what you think.
We'd love to hear from you. We'll play your comments on next week's show or perhaps give you a call and we could talk further, too. We're talking about Senate File 1054, introduced this year, a couple weeks ago at the state legislature. And it says that if there is any kind of document written, either for the lease of a property or for the homeowner, anything that would prohibit someone from being able to install solar panels on their home would be prohibited, and it would be unenforceable. It'd
be void and unenforceable. Yeah. So they're overturning. They're overturning a lot, aren't they? Most homeowners association documents state very clearly that you cannot make alterations to your home without prior approval of the board.
Yeah.
So
and there's real good reason for that.
That's
too.
right, because the association has to maintain the where I've seen that rule, it's because the association has to maintain the exterior of the property. Now, there might be aesthetic reasons as well, but the number one reason that boards will say don't do that is because they don't want to be responsible for repairing that roof once you've put holes in it, or for repairing the interior once the roof starts leaking.
Yeah, a good example, you put up panels, there's a windstorm, they get blown off, it tears off some of the roof. Who's responsible? The homeowner who insisted on having those up on the roof, or the homeowners association because it's on a common element.
So these are the considerations and the concerns of the homeowners association. This bill does go on to address that and says specifically that the owner that installed them has to be responsible for any damages or any repairs, which is fine. But what bothers me about this, Gene, is they're taking away the power to make this decision from the community.
Yes.
That community is governed by members who live there. Why can't they make up their minds whether they want to start allowing solar panels?
Very good point. We're talking about basic and fundamental real estate rights. And
That's right.
There is the right of an owner to be able to have something established or not to have something established. And here's how I think this gets to be showing that this is ludicrous. Let's say, for example, I'm a single family. I own a single family home. Nobody else owns it. It's not in an association.
You're not attached
Yep.
to anybody.
Not attached to anybody, not in a homeowners association. Obviously, I have the right to put a solar panels on my roof or not, if the
city allows it.
If the city allows it,
that's right.
Okay, but let's say the city allows it.
Sure, you have
as
that
the
right.
homeowner, I have the right to say yes, I want that on.
That's right.
Or no, I don't.
That's right.
But let's say the home is owned by four single guys who've just gotten out of college and have purchased their first home to make it a little bit more affordable. That's doable.
They're sharing the home.
I've seen that happen. Yeah,
okay.
when I was selling real estate years and years ago, there were a couple times where I had that exact same thing. Okay. I had 5 guys that bought an old mansion on Blaisdell in South Minneapolis, and they bought it together collectively and owned it together, their first home. Well, let me ask, if 2 of the owners of the 5 said, we want to have solar panels, the other 3 said no. And we asked them, who gets their way?
Who prevails here?
How
do you make this decision among the 5 of them?
I would think that the government would be reluctant to get involved. They would say, hey, look, you guys, this is between yourselves.
It's among the 5 of you as owners of this property.
Yes, and I think reason would dictate that a majority would prevail. I mean, I think that's how things are done in our country. Last time I checked.
I think that's our default position, that's for sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
And so the government wouldn't think of getting involved in that.
Right.
But now in a homeowners association, they're saying, yes, we can. You know, that if there's a single unit owner says, I want to have solar panels put on, and let's say they're in an association of 99.
Sure.
And they had the association discuss this, and at an annual meeting and in a vote of 75 to 25, they said, no, we don't want to have this happen. That homeowner association and their contractual agreement and their decision to operate the building by a majority of the people the way they want to would be ignored.
That's
because
right.
According to this state statute that would now become law, it would give the individual unit owner greater rights than the whole.
That's right.
To me, that's just not fair.
That's a good analogy, because if you look at a building that's comprised of 6 attached townhomes, there are 6 owners of that entire building, all of whom are responsible for the roof. And in fact, broader than that, every member of the association is responsible for paying for that roof.
Yeah.
So why is it not legitimate enough to have them decide by vote what they want to do with the property they own?
To me, it seems pretty fundamental.
Me too.
Here's something that I think we should dig in a little bit deeper here with this particular bill. And again, it is Senate File 1054. Senator Eaton, I don't know his first name or which area he is representing, but he is the chief author of this bill. It goes into specifics because it does say that a homeowners association could not prohibit someone from installing solar panels. But it does seem to throw a bone and say that a private entity, it says here, and this is in 11.18, subdivision 3, it says conditions, a private entity, or in other words, a homeowners association, may impose reasonable restrictions on the installation, maintenance, and use of solar energy systems, provided that those restrictions do not significantly increase the cost of the system or significantly decrease its efficiency or its specified performance. That sounds reasonable, but you have to go up a little bit further in the bill and take a look at what the word significant is defined as.
When they say significant cost.
Yes.
All right.
And so to be able to change something significantly, according to the state legislature or this legislator who's proposing this bill, would be if the association would ask or impose installation or maintenance standards that would cause that unit owner to exceed 20% of the cost of the system. So in other words, if the unit cost me $4,000 to install, association, you can't ask me to install it in any way that would increase my cost to install it more than $800. Otherwise, you can't touch it. Or here's the other thing. You cannot decrease the efficiency of the solar system. We know that the association may say you can put it on the back of your roof, but the front of the roof may be where most of the sun is.
Yeah, and maybe the back isn't going to collect any sun. Yeah.
Well, there's so much more to go in. We're just scraping the surface of this bill. But let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about Senate File 1054, prohibiting homeowner associations from being able to say no to solar panels on their roofs. What do you think? Do you think that this is a right thing for the state legislature to impose? More after these messages.